'cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary, it's about to be legendary.
Okay, so this house, well, 8:45 this morning, Todd, we got this one. He sent it to me, we pulled it up on our drive up and put it all together from our team. So we just got this house, and it's available for someone. Kris, you've got someone.
Give it up for Trevor and Alina. Come on up, you guys. What's up, buddy? Get that microphone right there. Now, our partnership started a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
A few months ago, we got our first 2 properties.
Correct.
And now it's time for property number 3.
Yeah.
Part of making the game plan for their scenario was they got some restrictions. Everyone has restrictions on what they can do and what makes the most sense. So for their situation, we were looking for the right kind of product, the right kind of price point. And I've been looking for about 4 or 5 weeks. But this morning at 8:30 a.m., we found it.
We made him work for it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So Tyler, tell them about the property.
Okay, so this one built in 2000, and it's $87,000. It's 1,262 square feet, 3-bed, 1.5 bath. Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the same process as that other one.
Yes.
Auction house. We have the list behind the scenes of everything that's being done. And we go out and do all of our inspections and that whole process. So by the time it's delivered at that closing, it's 100% rent ready. All of the big expenses that potentially could insert themselves have been not eliminated, but minimized as much as possible from the starting point. Rents for $850. So again, 87 grand, $850 rent, almost a 1-to-1 gross rent multiplier, which is phenomenal. So.
Awesome. So you guys were sitting just like the other house. The ROIs are practically identical. We're sitting at 8.2% on the cash on cash, 19.32%, almost identical to the last one. And when you actually factor in, when you remove the conservatism, that number is 6, 7, 8% higher. But we like to manage expectations. Make sense?
Yep.
You guys excited?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, give it up. They're getting themselves a house. Give it up, guys. Congratulations. Congratulations, you guys. Todd, get him under contract. Poor Todd. He's like, you guys are overworking me today.
And this one's taking $26,000 to get into.
Okay, guys, let's pause for a second. Here's what I want to invite you to do. In a little bit, we're going to go to some Q&A. But first thing I want you to do is I just want to get a couple of quick takeaways. What are you getting right now in seeing this go into practical application and actually buying homes? What are you learning? What are you figuring out? What are your takeaways? What are your golden nuggets? Come right over here. 1 second, we got a microphone coming your way. Here we go.
You're able to buy in quantity. You're getting a larger, your buying power is much stronger. So you're able to give us the advantage of having all that people working behind the scenes and doing a lot of work that we don't have to do.
How many of you have seen there's a huge leverage point for you and that you want to build leverage around you? How many of you see that? Awesome. So by the way, when I used to do everything myself and now there's 340 hours going into each deal, I do basic math. I say, well, if I work 8 hours a day, how many days would I have to work to get to 340 hours? And I'm doing the work of dozens, hundreds of people. And at the volume of real estate, we're doing collectively the work of thousands of people. You want to bring leverage into your life whenever you can. Most of us are trained to say, if you want it done right, do it yourself. And friends, here's a new one for you. If you want it done right, don't do it yourself. One more time, if you want it done right, don't do it yourself. How many of you get that? My world transformed. How many of you want to make more money? Then you need more leverage. How many of you want to make 10 times more money? Then you need 10 times more leverage. How many of you want to make 1,000 times the money? Then you need 1,000 times the leverage. So you got to start thinking not about money and deals. You got to start thinking about time. How am I leveraging my time to get where I want to go? Higbees are an example where they've done real estate over the years themselves. But by partnering up here together, there's hundreds of hours per deal they don't have to do anymore, which means their time can be used to what? Sleep late. Sleep in, right? What else could they use their time for? It could certainly be more deals, but it could also be more family. I'm really excited for Craig. Craig is spending time every single day on his small portfolio of 5 homes that have bloodied him up and have been a headache for the last 5 years. Has that impacted his quality of life? Friends, if you're working a job and you're giving your best prime hours between 9 and 5, plus commute, and the best hours of your life are given to someone else because you're the one being leveraged. If you have a job you like, you're lucky. You're part of 13% of the population. 87% of us hate what we do for a living, and you're the one being leveraged. Stop being leveraged. Stop being someone else's tool. You got to figure out how to get your time back. When you get your time back, you can make better financial decisions. You want to make more money, it's not always in the opportunity. It's in figuring out, how do I free up a little bit of time to get a side gig, a side hustle in the gig economy that can free me up and get me moving places? Or how do I free up some of my money? How do I free up 10 to 20% of my money so I can send it to work? There's a benefit that my partners have with me in that I'll never have a conversation that says, guys, well, I found this lovely home on the hill. It's a triplex. And it's real special. I think on the first, we could put in like a hair salon, and then over here, we're going to remodel and do this thing here. We're going to put some granite in there. You're going to love the granite, even though you'll never see it because it's not your house. You're going to love the granite. This is not an emotional game. Making money, it is an art, and it is mostly a science, and it's ones and zeros. And when you tap into a system where everything adds up, you win, win, win every single time. Does this make sense? So by the way, for all my partners that just got themselves some awesome deals, can we give them a huge round of applause?
Okay, so just to, what are we?
Something's about to go down
We're
right
gonna
here.
get taught right now.
Did you just call me easy? Ah, it's the easy button. It's awesome. We do make it crazy easy. Not for these guys. Shh, we don't want to get them filmed.
Okay, before we wrap up with one fun final transaction that we're gonna do on stage, I just wanna conclude. I have this big old thing, and don't worry about all the numbers, but what this is behind the scenes, it's all about having this plan, right? And what's the quote? If you fail to plan, you what?
Plan to fail.
You plan to fail. And every single person has a different starting point, has different resources to work with, and every single person's game plan is going to look different. And something that's really neat about our system is we customize it for every single person. You have a different starting point, you have different end goals, you have different risk tolerances, all kinds of things that customize every single person, and they're an individual. And we recognize that behind the scenes. We do a lot of houses. We sold 4 houses today. What real estate guys sell 4 houses in like 2 hours, right? We do a lot of houses, but I want you to know that behind the scenes, we never forget that there's an individual behind every single house, and that individual has a specific plan, and this house is a vehicle to help them create that plan, and we're never gonna forget that. So we don't ever want anybody to feel like, oh, they're just doing so many houses, we're just a number on a spreadsheet. That is not the case by any means. Every single person that's on our team, they are going to err on killing a deal, even if we're 2 days away from closing. And some of you have probably experienced going under contract on a deal and then us canceling that deal. There you go, perfect. And it's because we got in there and said, you know what, this isn't going to work like we wanted it to or we thought it was going into, let's cancel it. And no one deal, no one commission is bigger than the individual behind it. And so I really want you to feel that message that we understand how important every single one of these are to you, to your families, to your financial, and really more importantly to your why, right? Like why you're doing this because of what it can create for you. And again, it's different for every single person, but we want you to feel that. It's fun to get up and talk about real estate and returns and all of that, but it's so much bigger than just the house or the numbers. It's about the individual. So those are my kind of parting thoughts that I want you to feel and understand that That's why we do what we do. The teams that we have in the markets are an extension of that, and it all starts at the top. This is the team I want to build for my people, and this is what we're about, and we've got to have that same mindset because everything has to fit together so that we're in sync. So,
Guys, give it up for Tyler Bennett. Have a seat. So some of you have an awareness that I'm heavily involved with Underground Railroad. For those of you that don't know what that is a group of very brave individuals, usually ex-military, that put themselves in very dangerous circumstances to go undercover and find children that are stolen and taken into the sex slave trade. And what they do is they go in and they get as many of these kids and they rescue them. I've met the owners several times, and I was sitting down and hearing some of the most graphic, gruesome, disturbing stories of my life about this one man who started this all, who's tremendously gifted, who tattoos himself up, outgrows his beard, gets himself totally undercover, and then basically he plays himself as an elite buyer, will buddy up with all of the people that are out there selling these children, selling their virginity and using them. And he'll tell them that he wants to bring in his multimillionaire buyers, but he's got to bring as many virgin kids to the party as possible. And in some of these busts, 30 or 40 or 50 of these children will be brought in, and then it's a sting operation where they work with the local authorities of the land and they do an operation and they save these children and help shut down. And right now, the world, there's massive awareness happening for this. You know, I've got 2 daughters, and I was thinking, sexual abuse is something that actually touched my personal family growing up, my immediate family, and I've witnessed for over 2 decades the disturbing impact and effects that some people never recover from. In fact, to some extent, there's so much dysfunction among some of my family members that I possess these breakthrough skills and they don't know and may not even want them to be even used because of how much dysfunction and feeling there is where the family's really falling apart. I think of my 2 daughters that are at that prime age that if they were taken advantage of in any way, shape, or form like that. I don't know what I would do because I've seen the effects of that. I know many of you here in this room have, because unfortunately it touches 1 in every 5 women before the age of 18 will be raped, abused, or molested. And, when you make more money, at some point you have to level up your why. And for me, the why in my life is really simple. In our charitable foundation, every month we pick a project and we go out there and we try to change the world in our way. At one point, I honestly thought, I'll go for president of the United States when the time is right. I'm not joking. I gave myself a 20-year path and how I would do it. Then I learned more about the corruption, the politics, and the price on your soul you have to pay to make that kind of plan work. And I decided that I would be able to change the world in a far more impactful way through my own influence and through making my own billions that I can redistribute in a way that I feel is best. And right now, later on this fall, like I've shared with some of you, I'm going to be flying in on my dime some of my top breakthrough artists. We're going to fly into Nepal, and Free a Girl and Underground Railroad are putting on a conference where they're going to bring in their people from India, Thailand, and as we meet together, we're going to have an opportunity to put on a 5-day breakthrough symposium and train and certify all of their people in how to do this emotional breakthrough technique to help these girls start putting their life back together. Friends, if you don't have a dream big enough to motivate you, when I was joking with Craig and I said, if this were daughter, I'd put a gun to your head, he said, Craig, I got all the motivation I need. I got 2 daughters. I think about this problem in the world that needs solving. I got all the motivation I need. Every one of you needs to know how to tap into a part of your life so you can say, I got all the motivation I need. Because the stuff that we're doing that we make look easy at times is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to push you. It's going to challenge you. Your fear, your scarcity is going to show up. And I'm telling you right now that when it gets hard, you need to be able to dig deep and find something that pulls and tugs and pushes on you so intensely that you rise up and you roar like a lion and you say, I will, and I do, and I make it happen. You all need to have that because statistically, more than half of you are going to leave this event. You're going to have the training, you're going to have your next step, and you're not going to do anything. because the first, second, or third task is hard. And you're gonna forget about getting in your peak state. And you won't have a why deep enough. So I'm inviting you. You gotta find something real. You gotta find something that, in the beginning it was my parents. I wanted to give my parents their dream life that they always wanted, that they couldn't. Now I've been able to do that. Every day I get to see the benefit of that. It's amazing. But my dreams have got to grow and expand just like yours. I want you to find something that touches you so deeply that when it matters, you can reach down deep and stand up and have the courage and the faith to act when it's most scary. Will you do that? Show up! Show up! Ah! Freedom! Freedom! Never know when that's going to come out. But it needs to. Because right now, I tell you right now, I got some of my buddies like, Kris, man, why you take it easy? You got all this money flowing in right now. You should just chill. Stop growing. Stop pushing yourself. But you know why I do it? Because when you stop growing, you stop becoming. The moment you settle and you say, I'm content, the part of your soul that starts withering up inside. Listen, I think Tyler and his team have brought some incredible information. We've been able to show this hands-on. We got one last thing that we would like to do right now. In a moment, I'm going to bring up one of my partners, and I want to share with you one of the more slightly complex things that we do. Here's the real challenge that you're really going to face. Kris, I don't have credit. I lost my job, so I guess I'm out. True or false? False. True or false? False. Or you say, but Kris, I don't got the money. I'm not in that place in my life. I'm hardly saving, so I guess I'm out. True or false? False. True or false? False. It's not how many resources you have, it's how resourceful that you are. So let me share with you one of my friends that got crazy resourceful. Met this gentleman several months ago and basically said, Kris, I want to partner with you. Let's go out, tear it up. Let's do some real estate. But right now, I don't have a stable job. I've got my life set up where I got some other amazing opportunities. So I can't really qualify. Is that going to be a problem? Let me ask you, is that a problem? Do I perceive problems? No. What do I see? Let me share with you solutions. So this is going to be useful for every one of you because every one of you will build to the point where you can't use your credit anymore. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's an amazing thing. Why? First of all, never let a bank tell you what you can or can't do. Number two, never let your pocketbook tell you what you can or can't do. At some point, you got to stop taking advice from those things outside of you that tell you you can't. It's up to you to determine whether you can or can't. True or false? So this individual said, Kris, what are we going to do credit-wise? And I think this is going to be useful to share with you. And then I'm going to bring this individual up because today we are buying our very first property, and he's not using any of his credit. That, my friend, is Garrett Morris. Give it up for Garrett. Dude, it's a big moment, bro.
Yeah, it is a big moment.
Are you excited?
I'm excited. I don't know what to do about it. I'm just like, okay.
If you get a little nervous, if you get a little nervous, there's this tool that I like to use. It's called peak state technology, and it's where I use these two words called show up. You ready? We'll do it together. 1, 2, 3. Show up! Yes! Yes! Oh, dude, we get it. That's what you do with nervousness. You cast that out. So, but there's one other person I want to bring up here that helped make this possible for what we're doing today. I'd like to welcome up Sandra Coons. Please help me welcome up our credit partner, Sandra Coons. I love you. All right, go ahead and have a seat here. We'll both have a seat. I'll tell a little story here, okay? So Tyler's the same team that showed up to help make the deal happen, but I want to share with you what we do to get a little bit creative. By the way, when I was in Africa, I had a chance 2 years ago. I wanted to impact my children in a way that their life would never be the same again. So we selected one of the poorest places on the planet. We said, let's have our family and friends do some massive humanitarian work there. And we took my 4 children, we took them to Africa, and we installed clean water for an entire village. And we were able to help build an orphanage. And we were able to help bring power to locations that haven't had it for a long period of time. We helped build a school. It was very, very meaningful, and something my children have never forgotten. We were out at this one school delivering supplies, and we were planting a peace tree. And as the sun was setting, it was getting dark, we had just finished delivering all of our gifts. And then these 2 little black kids, they came out with a gift for me. They had taken plastic garbage bags from the grocery store, which they don't have a grocery store, so I don't know how they got them, landfill, I don't know. They bunched them all up in a ball, and they took plastic twine, and they managed to turn this into a little soccer ball. And they gave me this little ball, and the principal of the school that was next to them said, what we lack in resource, we make up for in creativity. A moment I'll never forget, because I believe that. I know that every single one of us has within us the ability to find the solutions every time we lack something. It's almost like our job as part of Connected, I believe, with the divine spark within, is we've been given the resources to create and put the jigsaw puzzle pieces together. And frankly, that's what we've been doing here, because when Garrett came to me, he said, Kris, I don't got credit. And so what we did is we structured a partnership with a credit partner. And I want to teach you this for a moment, and then I want to give this to you as a gift, and then we're going to actually watch them buy a house this very moment. Is that exciting or what? So I've known Sandra we've known each other for a number of years. When I need a credit partner, I go out to people generally that I know I have some rapport with. And Sandra, you and I go way back. Do you mind just sharing briefly, just really short kind of our history?
So we first started with your real estate program, and then doing some personal mentoring with you, discovered I was diagnosed with a blood disease that was incurable, quote unquote. And he literally put my feet to the fire and challenged me on that. And I sit here before you today. I say totally cured, but yeah.
Give it up. That's beautiful. So Arnold isn't here yet, but Arnold, your husband, I approached the two of them and I said, hey, I need a credit partner on a few deals here. We bought real estate together. You still have an excess of credit, and can we pay you to use some of that credit? And by the way, is that legal? Yes. And so
It's good.
it's good. So I basically said, hey, buy us the property, and on the day that we close, we're going to give you $2,500 for actually making that possible up front. And then we're going to take 5% of net proceeds when we sell, which will be a few $1,000s. We'll give that to you when we sell it. And basically, you can make $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for just holding this property for a few years on your credit. by the way, if you got good credit, how many of you like to get paid $5,000 for just having your credit doing something useful? Well, that made sense, because I said if we do this 3 times, that's a down payment on another property.
Yep.
And that made sense, yes?
Yes.
So by the way, one person might perceive a problem is actually a what? When people tell me I got a problem, I'm like, oh, get me excited, get me going. That means something good about to happen, right? I get really excited about this. So made the agreement, made an introduction, made sure we had a chance to connect with each other. They went through the qualification process. They're actually using money in a home equity line to buy the property. And the very next day, Garrett's going to initiate that wire, send it right back to them. That property will be transferred into our LLC. Now, we have our LLC with our agreements, and then we have an agreement. It's a credit partnering agreement with her. That credit partnering agreement, guys, whenever I put agreements together, I'm thorough. I use my lawyers. We do a good job. As a gift to you for being here, I'm actually going to be having my team make that available to all of you as a free gift so that you can use the same technology. Does it make sense? You're welcome. Yes. Everything we can do to help you out, that's what it's about. Everything that we can do, we'll stop at nothing. So what that looks like at the end of the day is Sandra's about to sign a couple of documents to start this process, and then that gets basically transferred to us, and then we get to go ahead and own that property, and we bypass the entire need of personal credit. You're all gonna have to do this at some point. If you're thinking, I'll buy real estate when I can use my credit, I would say what? Don't be stupid. You're not stupid. You're very smart. God made you smart. Don't be stupid. That's stupid. Because I'm not going to allow my credit to determine what I can or can't do. Does this make sense? All right. Y'all smart human beings, but we found a way, didn't we? Yeah. So Tyler, are you prepared for what we need to do right now to
Where
get
are my
started?
documents? So,
Everyone stand up, get on your feet.
Yeah,
Let's
this
create
is
some
good.
energy.
This is
This is
good.
exciting. This is a moment here.
So what we have is the two most important documents here. So the closing disclosure basically is the one that says, here's the purchase price, the interest rates, the fees, everything associated with buying this house. And then we have the note. So it's, okay, you're getting a mortgage. So she's buying the house. It's 607 Lindsay Lane in Winter Haven, Florida. So we showed you where Winter Haven is, outside of Orlando. The loan amount is, the sales price is $172. Loan amount's $137,600, and I think this house rents for, if you could believe it or not, $1,400. Remember that $172 to $1,400 fits right in the box with the ones that we've looked at. So we've got these two forms we're going to sign right here.
Now we're going to do it like this. Come here.
Where are we going to do it?
I want you guys to understand something.
Okay.
I want you to understand how many of you recognize that Tyler Bennett has a massive team that he runs for me that is the massive backbone that carries all the heavy lifting to make this possible. Can we show some love and appreciation? Because you're going to get that.
Thank you.
But we're going to prove it. Bend over. On his back.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
This
I
guy,
like it.
This guy is the backbone, so we're going to sign you right here. I
And
tell you,
this
dude,
one,
he
and that
does
one.
all the heavy lifting here. Here we go. He's proving it right now. It's leg day. And then we're going to sign this one right here. And we're going to have you stand back up, and you two come together in the middle, shake hands. Guess what? These two just bought a house, made a deal, happy boom! Dude, what's up, bro?
Amazing, amazing.
How does it feel?
It feels great. It feels great. I'm ready for this. This is the next step.
Guys, I want to just thank you, Sandra. Tyler, I want to thank you and your team for being amazing. Garrett, I want to thank you for being incredible. Guys, together in real estate, 1 + 1, when you add them up like this, 1 + 1 equals 11. How many of you are seeing that? Yeah. With this team, it's 1 + 1 equals 200, a crap load of leverage, millions of dollars of someone else risking their own money and making it happen in the highest, most intelligent, sophisticated way possible, duplicatable, do it over and over again until your ATM gives you all the money that you need. Yeah, give it up for them.